Hi lads and lasses, Modest Pelican here with Hitman Blood Money. If you enjoyed this video, please write to Twitter and ask them to change their stupid little bird logo to a strong majestic pelican logo, as this would really help spread the good word of my channel. Hitman Blood Money, the game that made me fall in love with this franchise back in 2006. It's one of my all-time favourite games, and though it's clearly quite old now, so is Elle Macpherson, but I'd still motorboat her. As in I'd take her on a respectful date on a motorboat to a picturesque lake. I've got to say though, the new Hitman games are probably two of my favourite as well. They've taken what made these old games feel so special and improved upon it, which is pretty rare and hard for game developers to achieve. This brings us to today's mission, located at the Paris Opera House, where we must assassinate American ambassador Richard Delahunt and famous opera actor Alvaro. I completely understand why someone wants these guys assassinated, I mean the opera f***ing sucks. So we spawn in and have a look at Agent 47 from 13 years ago. This bald white legend looking like a little murdering snack right now. So I walk into the main lobby of the theatre, where a gaggle of yuppies are pretending they appreciate the smooth, creamy, silky sound of the opera singing, yet during the intermission are smashing handfuls of Xanax so that they can get through the second act. I remember from playing this back in the day that Agent 47 has a coat checked in, and sure enough, when I go to pick it up, the agency has conveniently left us a World War I pistol in the coat's pocket. It's time to scope this joint out a bit, and so I head upstairs and sneak in behind a guard who carelessly left a door open behind him. Good one, mate. I see Alvaro rehearsing a scene where he gets shot, and remember that you can swap the real World War I pistol out with a fake one and make the other actor shoot him with a real gun. Besides the irreversible emotional scarring the other actor will have for unintentionally executing his co-star, this seems like a pretty sweet plan. I continue sweeping the building, and this guard looks at me wrong. I probably should let it go, but instead I channel my inner train station junkie and ask if he wants to get bashed, bruh. He says nothing and walks away. That's what I thought, John Coward. I find the guard's security break room, which is probably the most depressing thing I've seen in my entire life. Not even a window, it's basically a repurposed solitary confinement chamber, but it could be a good place to dump a body. I also toggle the lights on and off for a while, which yields no tactical benefit whatsoever. John Coward comes back, and I decide that I'll steal his disguise. May as well strangle him with the fiber wire, I guess, and so I proceed to do this. Mid-strangle, I realise that he is probably just an innocent, hard-working man trying to support his family, so maybe I should have just sedated him. But he did look at me wrong earlier, so my actions are more than reasonable. As I leave the room, there is a tour group being shown around. I'm pretty fortunate they didn't come around even 15 seconds earlier, but in reality, they are probably all so high on pharmaceuticals they would have just watched the murder take place, given me a standing ovation, and then gone and sucked saffron off each other's fingers and chatted about equestrian sports. Time to find a way to swap this real World War I pistol for the fake one, but then the guards begin gunning me down for like no reason, which is pretty rude if I'm being honest. I do my best to fight back, but there are far too many of them. I feel personally victimized by the whole incident. Fortunately, I had recently made a save game, and so I repeat the process of killing old mate again rather than sedating him for the second time, hiding the body, and then walking past the tour group. I head into the main section of the theatre to try and gain some further intelligence, but the guards start shooting me again. Is it because I have a barcode on my head? What, you guys have never been to a self-serve checkout before, you intolerant bastards? Anyway, I reload the checkpoint, kill the grandpa for a third time, but rather than running off after I hide the body, I hang around because this must be what's getting me in a spot of trouble. Sure enough, the tour guide tells the group of, well, let's just call them what they are, the group of well-dressed drug addicts, that he will be right back, and makes his way over to the sad little break room. So now it all makes sense. There's been a huge fault in my plan. Why I thought hiding bodies in the security break room was a good idea is beyond me. Not to worry though, nothing a fiber wire and another innocent life being taken can't solve. I take the guard's disguise and head back outside, but now this group of stunned mullets are looking at me to provide them the mind-blowing Paris Opera House tour they flew halfway around the world to see. They proceed to follow me around like zombies, expecting some red-hot opera facts to come pouring out of my mouth, but are severely disappointed. More importantly, I am meant to be keeping a low profile as I commit a sneaky double murder, yet I find myself being watched closely by a bunch of fried tourists. Not ideal. A big boy up front then says something quite horrible.
Worst tour guide ever.
Worst tour guide ever. That seems like a super unnecessary comment, Chief. You could have just left some negative feedback in your online review. You didn't have to hang me out to dry in front of everyone else. You best not go into any secluded places, or I'll do the only thing I know how to do when I get emotional. I'll choke you to death with my fiber wire. So assuming another guard doesn't go into the break room, which is a pretty huge assumption, but let's not overthink it, we now need to get backstage and swap the pistols over, and also find a way to kill Richard Delahunt. I see a painter leaving a back entrance, and so I penetrate the back door and follow it down to some underground tunnels. I stumble across a bathroom, and believe it or not, there isn't actually 3 toilet cubicles in here, there is only 2. If you look closely, one of the toilet cubicles is actually a black military weapons case where the agency would have left me a larger weapon had I requested one before the mission. The black military weapons case is just extremely well camouflaged so that anyone using the bathroom would not see it. I'm obviously joking, I just genuinely love how obvious it is. Anyway, I continue making my way under the building and eventually emerge in the backstage area. Now all I need to do is find a famous actress's dressing room and sniff her underwear. I mean swap the real pistol for the fake pistol. I head inside what I think might be Alvaro's co-star's private dressing room. There were 2 possible rooms to choose from, and my calculations therefore give me a 50% chance of success. I sometimes worry that my insanely huge student loan on my accounting degree wasn't worth it, but then when I am able to quickly solve complex maths problems such as this one, then those really crappy 4 years of my life and the crippling debt is suddenly all completely worth it. Eventually, Alvaro's co-star comes back, let's call him Stalin Jr. for simplicity, and he starts rehearsing the part where he shoots the gun. I'm no weapons expert, but it becomes very clear that this man has never fired a gun before in his life. I emerge from the closet and proceed to swap the fake gun with the real one. This is some real Scooby-Doo shit, but like instead of a wacky chase scene where there's fun music playing and everyone's wearing silly costumes, a man is about to be publicly executed. Stalin Jr. comes back in and naively takes the gun. Perfect, but now I need to make sure we have a front row seat for this performance. It's also somewhat of a concern that we have absolutely nothing planned for taking down Richard Delahunt yet, but like any good assassin, you've got to keep things loosey-goosey. Well, actually, most expert assassins would likely have every intricate little detail perfectly planned out weeks in advance, but you know what we call those guys? Workaholics. I reach the top catwalk section of the theatre where I have a nice view of the action, but given I am already here, I might as well have a look around. I head into the section above what I guess is the seating area where there is a large winch, but less impressively, there is also a ton of pigeons. A pigeon is basically a poor man's pelican. In fact, pelicans are like aquatic angels with impressively thick beaks, whereas pigeons are like large chunks of asbestos with wings. Anyone who has played Hitman knows winches are always fun, and I noticed there is an option to plant a bomb, and so naturally I do this. In Blood Money, you start with a handful of default gadgets for every mission, and a small remotely detonated bomb is one of them. Unfortunately, I am a little too keen to get a good view, and I accidentally walk off the edge and fall. But there is no large pile of conveniently placed hay for me to dive into, and instead Agent 47 breaks every single bone in his entire body. So I spawn back in and have to choke this guard out again, and I guess I'll be giving another tour as well. Just kidding. Fortunately, I had just saved the game after I planted the bomb, or that would have been a real bruh moment. I decide to find a better vantage point to watch the events unfold and stumble across the perfect viewing platform. So I'm pretty sure this bomb I planted is wired to this huge light, and let's just hope Richard strolls underneath that at some point, and yeah, that would just be fucking fantastic. So a short while later, the scene plays out when Stalin Jr. fires his gun, but my target Alvaro actually dies. And yes, I know Stalin was a World War II guy, and this is a World War I scene, but it's just a codename. Anyway, there's a brief moment when everyone thinks it's just exquisite acting skills and wonders how on earth he got his brain to splatter like that on the wall behind him, but then the penny drops and everyone freaks out. Richard then comes sprinting down as he is mortified to see his prodigy dead, but he conveniently trips right under the gigantic lamp I have rigged up. I detonate the explosion and take him down to complete the contract. I'm not out of the woods yet though, I need to get out of here ASAP. Hitman Blood Money has aged well given it is 13 years old, but the game engine starts to show its age when I can't escape down this small gap. I guess I'm just too big to fit. a problem I have all the time. Haha, penis jokes, got 'em. It's alright though, I'll just go the way I came, and on my way through I see the explosion has killed a bunch of the pigeons. This is a rare case in which the collateral damage was probably a higher value target than the people I was paid to kill. I continue making my way down to the exit. The suspicion gauge is high, but as long as I don't go near the crime scene, I should be sweet. On my way out, I stumble across the women's change room. As I am in a security disguise, I best stay in character and make sure that everyone's doing okay. It's all part of the job. I decide to dish up the best pickup line the 4th grade has to offer and tell them that I'm an FBI agent, a female body inspector. They tell me to go f myself and to leave immediately. Wow, sorry for being a kind, caring gentleman. I swear girls always push away the nice guys, and ladies, you can kiss the chance of us all having a foursome together goodbye. I escape through the tunnels I came through and make my way to the exit for a GG mission complete. I earn a cool $460,000 for my efforts. Damn, that's actually an incredibly good pay rate. I should start killing people for money in real life as my day job. I hope to see you absolute legends over on my Twitch channel linked in the description below. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and a massive thank you to my patrons for supporting the channel. Until next time, and as always, stay classy.